Hello and a very good afternoon to you from the Medan National Stadium. It's the second round of AFF Suzuki Cup matches in Group A as the Philippines take on Indonesia. Both teams coming in with a result I think they'd be happy with. Philippines beat Laos 4-1. Indonesia by some stretch managed to hold on against Vietnam. Had a real stroke of luck. I'll tell you more about that in a short while as the teams just line up here in the Gargantua Stadium. Not much of a crowd, unsurprisingly perhaps.
Ladies and gentlemen,
well, let's have the national anthems first.
National anthem. Quốc ca Philippines, national anthem of Philippines. Quốc ca Indonesia, national anthem of Indonesia.
Well, there are a smattering of supporters for both sides in this huge stadium, hoping to see their respective teams get the necessary 3 points. Well, the 3 points for Philippines means they are through to the next round, having already dispatched Laos 4-1. As I said, Indonesia, they'll be the first, I'm sure, to admit there was a big stroke of luck in the way they drew with host Vietnam. Now, looking at the Philippine team, they've made just the one change from that side that beat Laos. And they're bringing on the man who made the difference. Patrick Reichelt came on and scored 2 goals. He replaces the ineffective Mark Hartman, who finds himself on the bench. Otherwise, it's the same team. For Indonesia, a couple of changes for their side. Boas Solosa, who perhaps didn't have as much of an influence in the game as he could have. He is rested along with Manahati Lestusen, and in come the captain, Firman Utina, who was a used substitute in that first match, as well as Samsul Arif Munib, who got that goal that became eventually the equaliser. The two skippers then. Phil Younghusband, who had an excellent game in that first match. Kevin for a bit of criticism before the tournament as perhaps not being the most effective player. His brother James on the bench, the Great brothers also on the bench. Plenty of talent in this side. Remember, they have scoured the world for many of their players. Also a smattering of foreign-born players as well in Indonesia, 4 to be exact. A couple of them on the pitch, Rafael Maitimo and Sergio van Dijk, they're both from Holland, born in Holland. And they've also got Victor Igbonefo on the bench, along with Cristian Gonzalez, a Uruguayan veteran, 38 years of old, but he's the highest scorer in the team. They're the Indonesian supporters. They will make their noise. They're hoping to at least get second place here. Fahad Jabir from Qatar. Lue Subi from Iraq is the assistant, along with Karakami Satoshi from Japan, and his countryman Tojo Minoru is the 4th official. Yes, if you come second in this group, Thomas Dooley there, the coach of Philippines, German-born former US international, long-time serving international. Alfred Riedel, the Austrian, who is very familiar in these parts, having coached all over Southeast Asia. So kick-off then with Indonesia in red, Philippines wearing white. And they immediately want to make an impact if they can. The Indonesians say no. The games will get progressively easier, as it were. Play the hosts first, then the Philippines, and they'll end off with Laos. It's a nice one to end on, but they need something out of this game because they'll be quite certain that Vietnam will dispatch Laos. They've got to just prevent the Filipinos from winning here if they can, and then have it come down to that final game. So early free kick. Good position to swing this in. Plenty of pace on that ball, I'm sure. Riedel does not mince his words. It's lofted high. It's easy for a defender like that. They can't clear their lines. Oh, that's a decent save. They're cleared off the line itself. First chance force Indonesia. It's an early one. Well, Sergio van Dijk hardly got involved in that very first game. You can understand why. There was very little service. But this was the opportunity. He actually wasn't involved in the end of that. Ahmad Jufrianto was. Ooh, that looks bad. I think it's young husband who's down on the ground there. No, it's Reichelt. I think he took a knock to the face and could be some blood involved. Oh yeah, right in the face, the header. Jufrianto involved in that. I don't think there was anything untoward. It was just poor timing, really. Referee taking the ball back now. I think that's where he stopped playing. They'll return it. That's nicely done. Good to see. You want to make that impact quickly. It took a real long time to get going in that game against Laos, and the Philippines conceded a cracking free kick. And Laos did prove to have some scares. It's great to see countries like Laos and Myanmar, who came to the qualification stages, really pushing their opponents. It's what you want to see. Malaysia felt the effects of that, and that's a half-decent effort. Reichelt probably had a lot more time than he thought. In between the defenders, that's going to be a little bit of concern. That's why he thought he should have done better. He's the current top scorer in the tournament. It's only been a game, to be fair. Good work from the Philippines as they guide that down now towards young husband. Get the throw in. Well, after that little early flurry, Indonesia now find themselves a little bit on the back foot. Well, it's going to be a corner. They scored a goal off the corner through Simone Rota. Half a chance there for Juan Guirado. Indonesia have never lost to the Philippines. They've won their last 5 AFF Suzuki Cup meetings as well. So there's a lot of national pride at stake. I don't think Indonesian fans will take too kindly if they lose to the minnows. One of the minnows, even though they really ought not to be considered that anymore, of Southeast Asian football. That is a bit harsh on the Philippines these days. They are a very different unit. That's largely because of the naturalization of their players and looking at the diaspora, but still. Just hear Thomas Dooley talking to his players. You have Ott and Lucena screening in a 4-2-3-1 sort of formation. Very similar sort of formation for Indonesia. Also 2 screening for Indonesia. Timo and Utina. Used to be a bit more of an attacking player, but he's since sort of moved further down the field. No real chances otherwise. It's a decent ball in. Rota doing well. There's time and lucky to get away with that one. Jufriante's got to be doing better. Well, they're putting balls into the box here. Roby heads clear. Serginho is trying to help out Arif. Dooley's already barking out instructions then. Rota does really well. Reichelt having to come back and help. Very comfortable on the ball, the Philippines at the moment. Young husband, he's just taking that roll in the hole. Waiting for the shot, takes a deflection, and Hermansyah had to adjust himself and tip it over. Allowed too much space, Bahodaran. A close-up of the field will just reveal how poor the condition is. Don't think that was going to trouble the keeper had they not taken the deflection. Anyway. Another corner for the Filipinos, who are pressing a lot more than the Indonesians are, who I have to say were very content playing this way as well in that first match versus the Vietnamese. Quick word between Young Husband and Jufrianto. We've had a couple of clashes already. It was Jufrianto who did head into the face of Reichelt earlier. Guirado delivering that ball in. It's a missed shot, no problem, still with them. Now the keeper has had really been tested at early days, of course. Muhammad Ridwan hang out wide on that right-hand side. There's Serginho again, having to come deep, not getting that service perhaps. It's well dealt with by Pora. Rota waiting for the ball. Anyway, we'll do at the moment. Zulham clears. That's a nice ball, actually. And the end of Serginho is on his own. Can he do something here? Oh, dear. He's just holding himself up there. It looks to be a problem. Big problem for Guirado. It looks like it's a hammy. I think he's off. Oh, dear. He's clutching his right hamstring. And that might be the end of the tournament. He pulled up. And Serginho could have, or should have perhaps tried to stretch him more. He gets a corner out of it, but this looks like a serious problem in the heart of their defense for the Philippines. Juan Luis Guirado. Gonna have to rethink this one now. He's one of the veterans of this team at 35 years of age. He's absolutely furious. Born in Malaga, 35 years of age. He's been in the lower reaches of Spanish football. Made his debut for the Philippines in 2012. Now on the break here. Oh, is that a foul in the box? They're asking for the penalty and they've got it now. Is that a red card for being the last man as well? It's just a yellow. Perhaps he felt he had no choice, Firman Utina. Everyone just seemed to switch off there. It was a good run by Bahaduran. He was waiting, wasn't he? Well, now he's the furthest man forward. That could well have been the last man. I think he's a little bit lucky. That isn't Neil Etheridge, by the way. He's not even in this squad. That is Firman Utina, just to be clear. Neil Etheridge is the Philippine goalkeeper. He's not even in this tournament. He left the squad after falling out with Dooley. Rob Gear comes on, but the big news is that Philippines have taken the lead with that penalty. There was no dissent shown, and Young Husband scores his second goal of the tournament. Real problems here. Issues everywhere. Oh, another chance! Reichelt, he's got to be doing better than that, at least on target. You've got to be doing that. Well, they are really been under the cosh, to be fair. I wonder how they're going to react here. For the second time, they find themselves trailing by a goal. Was there any need to do that? Indonesia, with this sort of counter-attacking tactics, have not really paid off. Just quite happy to sit back here. Filipinos delighted, lots of smiles everywhere. The problem then for the Philippines is that, or Indonesia rather, if they lose this, I mean, of course it's early days. Is that they have to then beat Laos, which I'm sure they'll do, but it all then comes down to Vietnam and Philippines playing in that last game. Everyone want to come top of their group to avoid Thailand, who of course are doing well in their group and will probably come top. So that becomes a vital game. So many permutations, of course, at this point. Oh dear. More uncertainty at the back. Hamansyah could only kick it out of touch, or out of play rather. Twenty minutes gone. Philippines have got the goal and pretty much controlling things. Quite happy to come forward. Indonesia playing on the counter at the moment. Trying to this quick passing, completely on the attack here, camped inside his Indonesian half at the moment. Bahaduran again, tricky run, takes a shot. Only Van Dijk is up on his own, brings it back, that's better. Now can they launch a counter? Not many bodies forward, it's not easy. Comes back, here's Reichelt. Remember, Girardo has had to go off. Rob Gear is on. That will be a bit of a blow for sure. Rocker, also a veteran himself of English heritage as well. Plays for Ascot United non-league side. Spent some time with Wimbledon. Played in Cambridge, Woking, Aldershot. He's had a bit of league experience, 50 over caps now for his country. Well, they keep at it here. Rare foray up top. Rota handles it well. Stöbel. They are finding space absolutely everywhere. Rota. Now trying to push forward. It's all about the Filipinos. They're finding their range. They're doing well here. Oh dear. That's a terrible effort. Got to be doing better than that. Martin Strobel really let fly on that one. Right now, all the Indonesians can do is soak, get rid of the ball, and it pings straight back. Trying to get the cross in, they will get, looks like a corner. It's a rare bit of respite for Indonesia. Do find it rather odd at the moment, their tactics. Reid will know best. Not showing much intention really of going out and attacking. It's an interesting move. Taken out there, Sergio. He win a nice position for a free kick, and that was by Aguinaldo. Now the Indonesians hopefully getting excited here. This could be the time for them. Still trying to get this all sorted out. Cut it out, says Fahad Jabir. We saw a bit of tussling in the box. Try to get that flicked across, not working out for them at the moment. Remember, they got a goal completely out of the blue against Vietnam thanks to a defensive error. They capitalized on 2 errors basically to get their 2 goals. That was really just about the only shots they had. Mohamed Ridwan with the yellow card. There's the penalty. It was dispatched with aplomb by a young husband. Well, that's a poor mistake. This is the kind of mistake that they capitalise on, the Indonesians. Is there a moment here? Shazino wanted the ball, but it's... Well, it's still back with them. He's waiting. They need a good ball into the box. It was a very quick ask for a penalty there from Syukur. Now, free kick. On the half-hour mark. That's about as close as they've got so far. Serginho. Well, they had one cleared off the line, but even that wasn't really a moment of danger. That's when Jufrianto got involved. Well, he's been slightly busy than the two goalkeepers, though to be fair, Hamansyah hasn't had to make that many saves either. Only goal from this man so far. Well, that was last 5 minutes has probably been about as good a spell as they've had so far in this game. This is slightly better. We'll get another free kick. This helps, doesn't it? Rota with the foul. That's a pretty unnecessary foul, isn't it, really, from Rota? Just beginning to turn it on a little bit more. Just got to get more buddies up front, you feel. Nice little nutmeg. They will get a free kick out of that. It's good work by Ridwan. Sato with the foul. Maybe some tense times here. You can just hear someone saying Mark 17, that's Zulham, and 23, Muhammad Ridwan. Set pieces and counterattacks at the moment seem to be the Indonesian way. They've dealt with that pretty well. Aguinaldo with the header away. Two corners each. Indonesia just beginning to get their way back into this. Reichelt. Just about every Filipino player is in this half. Trying to play that in towards Young Husband. No problems with Hermansyah. As I said, Indonesia have won all 5 of their previous Suzuki Cup meetings with the Philippines, but Alfred Riedel has waved aside suggestions that the Filipinos will start as favourites given what's happened so far in this competition. Oh, it's a lovely ball! Oh, why on earth did they not go for it there? What a chance! Reichelt, I don't think he was expecting that. Was that the right move? Stöbel was moving forward. Could he not have gone for goal? Well, hopefully we get to see that one again, but an opportunity. That's gone out of play, surely. What a chance there. And it was a lovely ball from Young Husband. Again, they're getting excited because the action has moved up to the other half. Right now, I must say that Philippines have looked a much better side overall, and if you were to ask me the likely candidates to go through, it's going to be looking like Philippines and Vietnam, and that makes it an attractive prospect for whoever's in Group A who wants to try and top the group. Of course, Vietnam or rather Thailand are there. Well, very lucky, I think, to get a win out of that. A late penalty, giving them the 3 points against Singapore. No problems for Hermansyah. Yes, so Alfred Riedel said that, well, he thinks Tom Dooley's a smart coach and gave Indonesia the role of favourites, but he said it's nice of him, but I think it's a 50-50 match. 2010 when we played against the Philippines, that was in the AFF Suzuki Cup. We faced difficulties. We played them 2 times in the semi-final. I think both times we deserved the win, but they caused us problems. I saw Philippines 2 days ago. They dominated the game more or less, besides some minutes when they had a few difficulties in defence. They are close to the 2010 side. Maybe they're better now. Trying to play it down perhaps. return. And that took a big deflection there. Okay, gone out of play. Timo hardly mentioned his name in this game so far. Can be dangerous on these corners. Rota, who scored off a corner in the first game, really from a standing position, was off target. Jorginho, too much on that ball. I've got to be doing a little bit better than that. As Pora came bombing forward with the best of balls. Well, one of their star strikers, Irfan Bakhtin, lost his fitness battle to make it for this tournament. Desperately wanted to play in his third straight AFF Suzuki Cup, but revealed on Sunday that he had failed to secure a place in the squad. He sent a message saying, "I'm going to miss you guys, good luck. My strength didn't come from lifting weights, my strength came from lifting myself up every time I got knocked down. I won't give up and will come back even stronger, and I can't wait to play again for Indonesia." He plays for Venfre Kofu in the J-League, bit part player really, but it's a good experience for him. Again, they find themselves in a good position here. Oh, a heavy touch. Too heavy a touch. Doran has been immense on the right-hand side. He really has caused all sorts of problems, but that touch just deserted him. Homancha was brave as well. Yellow card. Zaful keep sticking his foot in, I suppose. That looked a little bit harsh. Let's have a look. This touch here. Not sure what that deserved the yellow card. I think he's got one. That certainly wasn't a dive. Oh, it's a good overlapping run now, Indonesia. Oh, bicycle kick goes well over, but they've shown more attacking intent in the last 10 minutes. Samsul Arif with the attempt, but more encouraging signs from the Indonesians. Just thinking about this, even if Indonesia get a goal back and they end up with a draw, for instance, and say Thailand beat, or rather Vietnam beat Laos, which is expected, Vietnam would then be on 4 points.
Philippines on 4 points and 2 for Indonesia. And Indonesia would then require those two teams, one of them has to win the game. If they both draw, which is also a likely result as that goes over from Reichelt, then they are out. So they don't want to be relying on that final game. Couple minutes of added time. There have been some injuries, stoppages, of course, the penalty, the goal. Gerardo has had to go off. Firmino Tina with the free kick. Oh, that's a great chance. Well saved by the keeper. I think that came off. It came off their own player. That could well have been Sato. Yeah, it was Sato, in fact. So Junior may have got a little touch on that. But that, at least, is a chance. Rota. Tried it with his outside foot to get to. Oh, he's done brilliantly there! What a chance! Young husband did excellently well. Reichelt did well. A nice return ball. Taking them a long time really to get going. Indonesians. Fire Jabir calls time in the first 45 minutes here. And really, it was all about the Philippines in the first half an hour, really. They've showed the attacking instinct, the verve. Welcome back to the second half then. Of the AFF Suzuki Cup match between Philippines and Indonesia. 1-0 at the moment to the Philippines, who have largely controlled this game. Barcelosa will add more bite perhaps to that attack. Let's see if he can make the difference. He was pretty ineffective in the first game. Just trying to see who he's replaced. Just let you know that shortly. Samsul is there. Has he replaced Serginho, I wonder? Or is it a three-man attack? They sacrificed someone else.
There you go, Muhammad Ridwan. So Ridwan was out on the right-hand side. He'll play wide then, it looks like. Let's see if he goes central and perhaps someone else like AFF goes out wide. We really do need to have a little bit more going forward, or their campaign could be over. 1 point after 2 games probably won't be good enough, even if they beat Laos. Had to make the save in the end there, Hermansyah. Trying very hard now to make a difference here, the Indonesians, but they are finding it hard to really break this quite resolute defence. There you go, case in point. Don't get the impression that the Filipinos have been that much pushed today, not yet anyway. But Indonesia did show plenty of pluck and determination to drag themselves back into the game the last time round. 2 large slices of luck, 2 poor bits of work at the back gave them that draw. They just had to create something, didn't they? Tina. There does seem to be a little bit more about Indonesia here. Here's Shazinho. Zulham. Stobel goes forward. Well, Riedel was hopeful that that dramatic draw with Vietnam would be the catalyst for that campaign. Don't forget, Riedel was only able to call his full squad together just over a week before the start of this tournament, so he was eyeing an improved performance today as they continue their campaign. But you get rewarded in these kind of matches in terms of the mistakes made, he was saying. It should help you for the coming challenges, and each match for us at this level helps us improve our fitness. Hopefully we can see it in the next matches, and then the second round. The players came with this physical condition from the league, as the league was very long until the 7th of November. Zino comes storming through, but again they lose out. And you could see this in all our play, but
when he kicked the ball with his head. Give me a break, he's right there.
This is positive in the hope that if we reach the next round, then we have 3 matches and our physical condition will be better. We ought to win, as I've said, to have a shot at qualifying from these group stages.
need to play with each other. I think you may just be able to hear that. Trying to decide whether that's Riedel or Dooley. They both have Germanic accents, so difficult to discern, or decipher. Nice return ball. Now forward. It's a good ball into space here. Zulham, who scored in that first. Oh dear. He's asking, begging for the goal, never going to get that. Yeah, just about 40 odd minutes, just under that, from a second win that will get them through to the next round. It's a good position. Oh, what a goal! That's an absolute screamer. Nothing was going to stop that effort. It's a brilliant strike. And that could well seal the fate of this game. Thomas Dooley celebrates with his team. An absolute rocket from the Filipinos. And the man who's been very quiet in this game, Manuel Ott. That could well be it here. Look at this, he hit that with such ferocity. And it justified the celebrations. It set up for it, didn't it? Hermancha diving across in despair. But the minute it left his foot, there was only one place that was going to go. And now they've got a massive task on their hands, the Indonesians. Can't see them coming back into this game simply because they look toothless going forward. It might be the opportunity here to try and bring on the veteran Christian Gonzalez. He may be 38 years old, but he's Indonesia's highest scorer at the moment. They don't have too many attacking options. Well, they're going for a third. That is a sickening blow for the Indonesian team. Looking a little bit better in the second half, a little bit, not much. They're really now going to have to pull out something very special from this game because they have been pretty much second best throughout. And the Philippines, as always, just chugging along. I'll tell you what, they've done something that the Vietnamese have not, and that's keep a clean sheet so far. So that just makes it quite interesting, Vietnam versus Philippines in that final game. Now the Indonesians will be hoping, if they can't get anything out of this, that Laos can do them a favor and maybe hold off the Vietnamese and maybe pull out a draw, something like that. Very unlikely, but the fact is now it is out of their hands, really, if it remains this way. Just wonder if Alfred Riedel is going to do something here. Is he going to make any more changes, bring on more attacking players? Surely he's got to be looking at that. He has got some great players at his disposal, but he's got 3 of his 4 strikers, out-and-out strikers, on the field. Why not bring Gonzalez in, play the ball forward to him? He's a big man, big unit, along with Van Dijk, and have Arif and Solosa in support. Take out a more defensively minded player. You might as well go for it. Give him a shot, because your tournament could end right here. Maybe a few more minutes. See if they can pull one back on their own. If they pull one back, it will make things interesting. I can't see that happening, I must say. And to be fair, the Filipinos are the ones who are pushing forward, not sitting back here, which is to their credit. Here's Solosa, hasn't had the influence, gives the ball away as well. Oh, it's a great ball. Young husband. Oh dear. That's a really poor effort. Chance there, half a chance. They're leaving themselves exposed, Indonesians, as expected now, as they go in search of an unlikely goal. They're just peppering this at the moment. I'm sure everyone in Group B is just looking at this thinking, well, what if Philippines can get something out of Thailand? Out of Vietnam, rather. Do we want to be facing Vietnam or them? Philippines always the dark horses these days. They've got to the semi-finals in the last 2 rounds, really showing their worth. I'll tell you what, they have done nothing prior to that. They were real minnows until they were embarked upon this of going out and getting foreign players. Philippines never got out of the group stages from '96 to 2007. Didn't even qualify in 2008. I think that might have spurred them on into that action. Boa Solosa, that's offside. Really beginning to make that impact impact at this part of the world. Yeah, definitely offside. Got that absolutely right, the assistant. I think that's Loué Subiadid. Overall, coming into this tournament, Philippines have played 31 matches. They've only ever, by the way, won 4 games before this tournament. 4 wins, 4 draws, 23 losses. Right, very, very poor. They never really did very well prior to this. Half an hour to go in this game. "23 goals scored, 23 losses, 17 goals scored, 82 conceded." It's the second worst defence of the countries that have participated. They've scored 16 points in those 31 games, if you can understand what we're trying to say there. Of the 16 games they've played in this tournament, very, very poor. Indonesia, statistically the 3rd best country coming into this tournament with 47 games played, 24 wins, 10 draws, 12 losses, 126 goals scored. They've scored more goals than anyone else in the history of this competition, but they've got the worst defence in out of the big 6 countries, or out of the big 5 really: Thailand, Singapore, Indonesia, Vietnam and Malaysia. And 82 points out of all that. Now Boas on the counter. Giving the ball away again. Surely they've got to bring on another attacking substitution. It's crying out for someone like a Christian Gonzalez. As I said, they've never lost to the Philippines before. This would be history in the making. In the last 21 meetings, Indonesia have won 19 rather, with 2 draws. Have to win to advance to the semi-finals. And final match against Laos. Still, it would be a tough game, he did admit. It has been very, very tough. Been on the back foot almost throughout. Just about cleared off the line. A bad effort taking that on the bounce. So Reichelt hasn't quite had the impact that he did, of course, around this point last week. Fall of 80 goals in 17 games against the Philippines. Speaks volumes of Indonesia's pedigree against compared to just 8 conceded in the past 50 years or so. This is, of course, before the continued progress of the Philippines in their league structure. Stark difference. Players now playing more professional leagues overseas in a physical game as well. There you go. That's what we were looking for. Christian Gonzalez comes off for Zambun. Now, we were asking for this. Now, can it make a difference? Rutina to get more involved. The skipper's got to rally his troops here. One of the players that could have made a difference, Emmanuel, one guy, came on as a substitute the other day. He got a minor knock, so he couldn't take part today, not available. One with Fafulin, one with Vivianto. Dennis Villanueva not available. A chance here, young husband. Oh, it's a penalty. Oh, they're taking a free kick rather, and they got the goal. They said it was a back pass. They took it quickly, great thinking. Unbelievable work here, Indonesia. Completely caught, napping there, and they paid the price. And it's Strubler who gets the goal. They are cruising here. Well, they called it a back pass. I think that's a little bit harsh. And he took it quickly to Strubler. Maybe a little bit harsh there. But they're really in serious trouble here now. There's no doubt about it. Firstly, the Indonesians just all switched off. They didn't really protest that much either. They were more embarrassed in the way they just hadn't even turned back. They weren't even ready. What was the keeper doing? Surely he's got to get back to his position. Only got himself to blame. They deemed this a back pass, which was rather harsh. He allowed to take the ball off him. Look at him. The keeper's got to get back to his position. Allowed the ball to be taken off his hands. Didn't try to get in the way. And that's poor work, really, from Indonesia. The critics will say they absolutely deserve to concede that goal for switching off. And really, it's all over now. You suspect this is not going to be well received back in Indonesia. And some heads may just roll for this. My teamer says that's a dive. Manahati Letsusen, who started the previous game, will come on now for his skipper. Firman Utino makes way, the veteran. Lestusen's quite an exciting player himself. He's had a stint overseas in Belgium. It's too late, surely. 20 minutes left. Played in Penarol as well in Uruguay, the 20-year-old. Also had some time in Visse, the Belgian second division, managed by the former Tottenham Hotspur player Terry Feddick, former England player as well. So he's had all that overseas experience. Now, Christopher Greatwich, one of 3 brothers that play for the Philippines, replaces Patrick Reichelt, who's not probably had as good as a game as you would have liked. Serginho's done well. My Timo. That's gone out, should be a corner. Had said that they were going to use the inspiration. Oh, there's a chance here. Was there a foul? No, was that a last man as well? I don't think the intent was there. It's a red card. Yes, it is. The last man. It has gone from bad to worse. He had no choice, perhaps, you feel. Risky Porter with a risky move. Well, if the task was seemingly impossible, it's just been closed shop now. Absolutely no chance of getting back into this game. Yeah, taking out young husband, who went across his man. That's the right thing to do, to try and draw the foul when you know you're probably not going to outpace him in the end. That's clever work. Can they get another one here? Young husband's there. It's pretty straightforward in the end for Hermancha. Yes, they were, as I said, they were going to get inspiration from Manny Pacquiao. They all watched the telecast of Pacquiao retaining his WBO welterweight title when he beat Chris Algieri on Sunday. That was the day after they thumped Laos. Phil Younghusband said Manny is someone all the players look up to, the whole country looks up to, the whole of the Philippines watches his fights. He's someone who inspires us to get to where we want to be. He's a world champion, he's the best in the world, and he's someone all the players, coaches, and the whole Filipino football community admire. That is where we want to be, playing against the best. We know that if we're going to be the best, we have to beat the team, we have to beat the best, and we feel we have to start in Southeast Asia. Indonesia, one of the best teams in Southeast Asia. Not the way they're playing now, I'm afraid. If we're going to win the tournament, we'll have to beat teams like Indonesia. Don't forget, he played in that 2010 campaign when Philippines lost to Indonesia both legs in the semi-final. He's expecting a tough battle. He said, I've played against Indonesia 3 times. Unfortunately, we've lost all the games. We know all the players are dangerous. Zulkifli shows immediate concern. He'll get a yellow card. Oh, that's right up there. That's a terrible challenge. Really awful on Misak Bahtadaran. And to be fair to him, he immediately went up to him and apologized. He knew he'd done something wrong there. I'm not quite sure why he gets to take the free kick. And that's what Dooley's wondering too. Well, I think he's pushing, asking for the ball to be put back. I think it was a foul throw, perhaps. No, it can't have been foul throw because it would have been a rethrow. So, not great. Barcelosa tries to take a shot. Bizarre decision there, but anyway.
Easy. Press, step up, press.
We know they have the threat. They're a good team defensively, which they showed against Vietnam in the first game. This is Young Husband speaking. As an attacker, I have to be aware of the defense, and the team know the threat they have going forward. As we saw against Vietnam, they have threats coming down everywhere, from everywhere. Corner from Zulkifli Shukur. And a chance! Well, great save. Well, it was at the keeper. Anywhere else on that goal, surely that would have been the opportunity for Indonesia. And now Young Husband holding up the ball well. They're getting caught out here. Young Husband goes for goal. He'll get the corner. Dooley had pointed to his timely substitutions as a factor in their win over Laos when he replaced the misfiring striker Mark Hardman with Patrick Reichelt. He said Mark's a great finisher, but sometimes as a forward it does not work. Maybe in the last 5 or 10 minutes he may have scored 2, but he'd been a bit unlucky in the game. I was thinking about bringing in Patrick. He was hurt, as he thought he would start, and he didn't start. Now he's coming in and is right there. Every player knows he has to be at the same level. Oh, that's going to be another chance off the post and stabbed in. It's going from bad to worse. Rob Gear, the substitute, who came on early to replace Juan Guirado, makes it 4, and there's absolute delight on the face of Thomas Dooley. Indonesians are just a ragged unit at the moment. He probably could have scored off the header. They got the rebound. They are absolutely hammering Indonesia at the moment. Well, that came off his knee as well, which was why he had that awkward loop. But he made no mistake when he stabbed that in. Yeah, really mistimed that header, didn't he? Oh dear, and I tell you what, they're really helping their goal difference as well. That's 8 goals they've scored in 2 games. Brilliant. Vietnam, you have been warned. They would be watching this and knowing they certainly don't want to be coming. Second in the group, they've got to be careful. It's going to be a fascinating battle between Philippines and Vietnam. "10 minutes left, and it's really now all about damage control from Indonesia. I would venture that this is quite possibly their best ever performance against a major nation, the Philippines. Thomas Dooley said every player knows that he has to be at the same level or a little better than the one I'm taking out. And the substitution was perfect. That's Dooley kind of congratulating himself. He did give his players lots of rest so that they'd be ready for this game. They said they'd be watching tapes of Indonesia and reviewing what they did against Laos and see what they could improve on. Remember, they've never beaten the Indonesians before. Every so often they keep coming forward again. Will they get a fifth? They have come no closer to scoring in this second half, I'm afraid. Even with the introduction of Christian Gonzalez, he's hardly touched the ball. I don't think I've even mentioned his name since he's come on. That's how poor it's been for the Indonesians. Really just got to do so much better. Bao Darren has had an excellent game. Will be replaced by Simon Greatwich. The two Greatwiches are on now. He's worked very hard indeed. Can they continue this? It is a fantastic performance here. Indonesia will try desperately to get back into this. Well, they beat Vietnam in 2010 2-0. That was really seen as their best result to date. That was enough to get them through to the next round. Lost to Indonesia then. They weren't even allowed to play in their own stadium for a long time. Philippines won 2 games in that group. They actually managed to beat Vietnam again 1-0. They've beat Myanmar 4-0, so they've matched that today. But this must surely rank far higher. Oh, not that far away at all. That's been about as good as it's got for them. There's time for just one more. Philippines have, to be fair, had lots of preparation, much more than the Indonesians have, though they have played low-ranked sides. But since September, they've had 6 matches. They've won all of them except one that went into extra time, which is quite strange for a friendly. But they beat Chinese Taipei 5-1. They lost to Myanmar 3-2 in extra time, as I said. They hammered Papua New Guinea and Nepal 5-0 and 3-0 respectively, and Cambodia 3-0 as well. But they've been scoring plenty of goals. That's been the pleasing factor. They've kept a lot of clean sheets as well. They have helped. It's helped them push their ranking up to 127. They're the highest ranked, would you believe, side in this competition. Cynically, some might say it's because of the kind of fixtures they've scheduled. Indonesians will just have to try and keep the ball. Now the crowd, by the way, just getting a little bit excited because Vietnam play Laos in just over an hour from now. This was the shot. I think it was fairly straightforward anyway. They will be top of the group with 6 points out of 6. Well ahead of Vietnam now. They have control of this group at the moment. It's all in their hands. That's perfect for them. Even if Vietnam win their game, they'll be second in the group. Draw will be enough to see them top against the Vietnamese. I think that Vietnam will have a real test on their hands to try and top it, but then again, all the other teams in Group B will be delighted if Philippines could top it. And I mean all the other teams, everyone except Thailand. I think people will underestimate Philippines at their own peril. That's a nice overlapping run. I'll get a corner. Boas has done well here. It's a lovely run. Maybe holding onto the ball a little too long. Another decent ball in. No foul, says the referee. Three minutes of added time in the Indonesians just can't wait for that final whistle. Really has been a shocking performance from them, really. Gonzalez will get a free kick just on the edge here. Not happy with himself there, Armani Aguinaldo. Well, consolation really for them. Indonesia have only had 4 games in recent times. They drew with Yemen, they beat Malaysia, beat Cambodia and lost to Syria. Serginho trying his luck, not all that far away. Yeah, not far, but once again they failed to really put anything on target. Nice little touches again. Close to that time for a 5th. Look at that return ball. They are playing with some real verve today. You can take the short one here, hold on to the ball if they wish. Gonzalez gets ahead onto it. Rota, no problems for him. One last attack perhaps for the Azkals. But they don't need to, because this has been history in the making. The first time ever that the Philippines have defeated their neighbours Indonesia in international football, and boy have they done it in style, particularly that man Manuel Ott with an absolute screamer. Before that, well, there was a goal, a penalty from Phil Younghusband. It was followed by Martin Strobel's quick thinking along with Younghusband, who helped him out there, and Rob Gear, who stabbed in maybe their joint biggest defeat, joint biggest win rather, in AFF Suzuki Cup history. But there's no doubt about it, beating the Indonesians in this game will have really grown their stature and dismiss them at your peril, because they have sounded out a warning to the rest of the teams in the AFF Suzuki Cup. They are here to stay and proceed as the first team into the semi-finals. The final score then at the Medan Stadium, it's Philippines 4, Indonesia 0. Thanks a lot for joining us. We'll see you again soon.